Good morning. Aloha from Florida. So I'm in the process of writing a flat earth book. I'm going to entitle it The Top 10 Facts Proving Flat Earth. About 5 of them are pretty well known in the flat earth community. The other 5 are not so well known, but they are strong. I have a really strong outline going now. I hope to finish the book this year, actually within the next few months, and at least get it online for free, and maybe a print-on-demand version for those who want to actually have a physical copy. Here's the number 10, number 9, and number 8. These are the first 3 things. These are the main things about flat earth. Number 10 is that there is no curvature. That's a fact. You can argue against it with the alleged effects of the alleged curvature, but the fact is there is no curvature. That's how we know the earth is flat. From huge land masses being observed and measured flat to the natural physics of large bodies of water always being level, flat, horizontal. The horizon over an ocean is always flat, level, horizontal. And yes, flat and level means the exact same thing. Number 9 is that there is no motion. That's a fact. You can try to argue the alleged effects of the alleged motion, like the star trails, but the sky is moving over us. There is no motion to the earth. The earth is flat, there is no curvature, and the earth is stationary. There is no motion. These are facts. And then the third one, or actually number 8, number 10, 9, and then the 8, is there is no outer space. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. That violates natural law. There is no outer space. You can say, well, what about the pictures from space? Oh, the painting from 1972, or all the fakery with the wide angle lens and the CGI lens, or the outright CGI, or the fisheye lens? No, there is no outer space. The show that NASA is putting on is to trap the minds of humanity, or unfortunately what I call the dumb masses. And don't say dumb masses too quickly, but if you do, that's probably accurate as well. There is no outer space. So there is no curvature, there is no motion, and there is no outer space. These are facts. You can argue against them with your beliefs and opinions if you want to. And for the globe zealots who just want to get online and troll these flat earth groups, the best you can do is a weak argument based on a false assumption. All of the facts, all of the natural sciences prove the earth is flat and stationary. So I'll let you know later this year when the book is out. It'll be called The Top 10 Facts Proving Flat Earth. Y'all have a great day. God bless.
So imagine just walking to Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore, taking out your camera, and zooming in on the Chicago skyline, which is approximately 50 miles away from you. When people say that ships disappear below curvature, I begin to question their IQ level. Because all you have to do is take a powerful camera and you can see that the ship did not actually disappear below the horizon. Just how the Chicago skyline appears to be below the horizon from naked eye view, but as soon as you take a camera and zoom in, you can see the entire skyline from top to bottom. Now that's really odd. The Willis Tower in Chicago is the highest tower in all of Chicago, and it is 1,451 feet high. So that's really interesting that we can see that entire building from top to bottom, as well as shorter buildings. Because let's say we're 6 feet high and the target distance is 50 miles away. Well, there should be 1,473 feet below curvature. But the tallest building is 20 feet below that. Weird.
Clouds can only form if the earth is flat. Want to know where I learned that from? The home experiment section on the JPL website. First step is warm water in a jar and stir it around. Then you light a match and drop it in the water. And you quickly place an ice-filled metal tray or hard plastic frozen ice pack on top of the jar. And here's where they directly talk about the firmament. Observe the inside of the jar carefully. A misty cloud should appear near the top of the jar. Why does this happen? The warm water vapor mixes with air and smoke particles. It rises inside the jar and then cools when it comes near the tray of ice. So, of course, I wanted to do a dome type structure as my frozen lid instead of the flat one that they used. And would you look at that? Mine produces way more clouds than theirs does. They couldn't be talking about the sky. could they? Because why would it need an icy lid to make a cloud? And here's the best part. Remove the metal tray or ice pack. What happens? The cloud disappears. It's almost like we'd have no atmosphere if Earth was really in a vacuum of space. The real deal. This exact process occurs naturally in our environment. Who knew? Shmasa and JPL told the truth, but they put it in a random kids project. I honestly never thought about this topic until I was randomly perusing their website, so good stuff.
Okay, I'm going to prove to you guys that we live under God's dome with straight up common sense. Now, most of you won't understand this because you lack common sense. Your mind belongs to the government. However, we're still going to try. Now, this is the Gleason's map. This is the real and true map of the Earth. Now, if a dome encompasses our stationary Earth, it would be the highest in the middle, and it lands along Antarctica. By the way, guys, the United Nations logo is the flat Earth map. Now, basic science here. In order to create a rainbow, we need a prism. This is pseudoscience. This works nowhere else but Google. When you spray a hose outside, this is reflecting off the firmament above. Now, check this out. Canada is right here, very close to the center in the highest point of the firmament. Look at how big Canada's rainbows are. Look at the massive arch that we see in Canada. Now, let's move on to Australia. Look at the arch. It is much smaller because it is closer to the edge of the dome. And then we have Antarctica, which encompasses our stationary Earth 360 degrees. Look at the rainbow. This is what you observe in Antarctica. It's very tiny because it is very close to the edge of the firmament. You ever heard of Operation Fishbowl? During the Cold War, the government started launching missiles straight up in the sky to test them. And they called this Operation Fishbowl. What they were really doing was trying to break through the firmament. The Thor missile was also used to lift warheads into near space to conduct high-altitude nuclear explosion tests. These shots were collectively called Operation Fishbowl. It's literally been right in front of your face the whole time. This is a glass bowl, The Shining. Here's the sundogs that we observe when the sun is closest to the firmament. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show us his handiwork. Psalms 19:1. They know the truth. They laugh in your face because you guys eat up their lies. They hide God's true creation right in front of you, and you all decide to go to Google for your answers. When you tap into the divine intelligence and truth of this universe, truth of this creation, truth of who you are, you will create whatever reality you desire. That's exactly what they do not want. They want a nation of docile, obedient, stupid sheep, and that's what most of you are. It's time to unlearn and relearn. This makes zero sense.
One of the most indoctrinated questions that I'm asked all the time is, Jack, why would they lie about it being a globe? What would be the point in them lying? Well, let me tell you. I honestly believe, in my belief, that one of the biggest reasons that they lie about the globe is to take legitimacy away from our creator. It doesn't matter whom of what you believe, it takes legitimacy away from us being created. And the fact that we all believe in different gods is what they want. It's divide and conquer. The other reason is that if you start to believe in the flat earth model, it depicts that we have an ice barrier holding the water completely level. But what is the best way to deceive the most intelligent species on this realm? Tell them that if you keep going forward, no matter how far you go, you will end up back at home, buddy. You're in a cage and you can't go anywhere. That's exactly, in my eyes, in my opinion, why they want us to believe in the globe.
So, either the sun is shooting a laser at the little teeny tiny Earth that's tilted, wobbling, spinning, orbiting, or the sun is a much smaller, more local light. Earth is stationary, and the sun and all the other luminaries in the sky, and they go around us like a clock. They say the sun is 109 times the diameter of the Earth, and you could fit 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. There's a thing called the inverse square law of light, and it basically says how light spreads out over distance and loses its intensity over distance. So here's the UV index of the Earth, and we see how the UV is strongest along the equator and between the tropics. So according to the inverse square law of light, and the size they give us of the sun compared to the Earth, how will we get the UV index greatest along the equator? It's almost like the sun shooting a laser beam on our little tiny Earth.
What they're claiming is that they went 1,000 times farther than they can send astronauts today, 50 years ago, on the first attempt with 1/1,000,000th the computing power of a cell phone. And there's never been a technological achievement that no one could repeat 50 years later. It's like me telling you 50 years ago, Toyota made a car that could go 50,000 miles on a gallon of gasoline. And yet today, 5 decades later, their best car can only go 50 miles per gallon, or 1,000th the distance. You would laugh and say the original claim is preposterous. Or 50 years later, and now the farthest they can send an astronaut to the moon is 1,000th the distance that they claimed to have done on their first attempt 50 years ago with less computing power than a cell phone, 1/1,000,000th of the computing power. It just doesn't add up. It's never happened. It's also the only time that they deliberately destroyed a technology. I mean, the B-52 is 70 years old, and there's still 200 of them in service. And yet they admit they destroyed all the Apollo equipment, and they're claiming they have to go back to the moon and recreate it from scratch. They destroyed all the original videotapes, all the original blueprints. You would never do that if you really went. You would only do that if there was a fraud and you were trying to cover your tracks.
Was the griffin that we see on the Tartarian flag actually a real creature? And are images of one seemingly being slain an indicator of Tartaria's demise? Similar to dragons, we're told it's just a mythological creature. But there's clearly been a reverence for the griffin all throughout history and all across the world, depicted in countless artworks and sculptures. Of course, we're expected to believe that dinosaurs once existed, including pterodactyls and other flying dinosaurs. But now we're told that dinosaurs were actually covered in feathers. Were some of these giant flying feathered dinosaurs actually griffins? It seems as if our controllers do like to invert the truth, and a lot of so-called scientific fact is in fact fiction, and a lot of what we're told is fantasy is in fact reality.
Near enough every movie to this day is out there to push propaganda and evil narratives. So stick around for this short video, because I'm going to show you exactly the narrative that the Borat movie was out to push to the world. So as we all know, the very funny but half disturbing movie called Borat was set in a third world country called Kazakhstan. And I know my whole life, ever since watching this movie, I've just joked about Kazakhstan being a really, really poor country. This my sister. Check out the capital of Kazakhstan. This is the absolute opposite of a third world country. This place is called Astana, which is an anagram for Satan. And can anyone explain to me what these big gold buildings might be? Because honestly, I think they're making free energy like Nikola Tesla always spoke about. So other than the fact that the world thinks this is a third world mess, and its capital city is an anagram for Satan, and it genuinely looks like it's from the future generating free energy, they also have a massive statue of the torch, the symbol of the light bearer, Lucifer, El Diablo. Let's not forget to mention the beautiful pyramid they have in their city called the Palace of Peace. That on top of it has a beautiful meeting room that's set for world religious meetings, that has 200 immaculate seats. And there was 200 fallen angels in the Bible that followed Lucifer to take over Earth. But it doesn't end there, guys. Let's have a look on the gematria coding. Okay, so first up, I checked up the word Borat. The word Borat is the number 233. And I was not surprised with these matchups. Just think about the number 233 right there. 33% of the angels followed Lucifer to Earth. Times that by 2, you've got the mark of the devil, 66. Then, obviously, on the word matchups, you've got Messiah, encoding, decoded, decode the end, Lucia. Straight away, this guy's name right now is starting to be very questionable. Let's check up Astana. Oh, what do we have? The word Astana matches up to the word Borat, which is still the number 233. 33% of the fallen angels, times it by 2, you've got the mark of the beast, 66. And then obviously now I've scrolled down a little bit further, you can see even more matchups. We've got meaning, I am God, some questionably rude ones, and then obviously the same ones, Messiah, Encoded Decoding, Decode DN, Lucia. It matches up with Borat. So what do you think, guys? Is Kazakhstan actually a third world mess that Borat tells us? Or is it actually the home of Satan, where they have worldwide religious meetings to control our narrative and push propagandas to make us evilly embedded by the owner of our realm?
What if I told you that one of the most popular songs in the world has a flat earth reference right at the start of the song? Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? That's so interesting. Now, I could just be a little bit conspiratorial. John Lennon has something very special to tell us. No longer on the ball. Look at those wheels. Look at those wheels roll. I'm not on the merry-go-round. I don't know about you. I just had to let it go. John Lennon, my boy. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.